But let's say we have $1 million tax deferred account. Now this could be an IRA. It doesn't have to be $1 million, but let's say we have $1 million tax deferred account. It could be an IRA, 401k, 403b, deferred comp, TSP, SEP, Simple, or KEO. If we aren't even trying very hard, this thing doubles in about 10 years typically. So this $1 million, 10 years from now, is $2 million. But say when it's $1 million, is this money in a tax deferred account? Is this all mine? When this thing, so who else is who's my silent partner on a tax deferred account? Okay, and so a big chunk of this is Uncle Sam's. Okay, maybe even Uncle Sam thinks his share is a quarter. He's not on the statements, right? But it's maybe a quarter of it's his. Okay, now if I just grow that to $2 million, now I just doubled the amount that I owe Uncle Sam. So we can't keep kicking the can and thinking that, well, when I retire, I'll be in a lower tax bracket. When we run these analyses, even on today's tax rates, the Trump tax cuts were made permanent last 4th of July with the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. But we could very likely have, it's a good chance, about a 51% chance, it looks like right now in the predictive markets, like Poly Market, maybe a 51% chance that we could have a blue wave in November 2028. January 2029, we could have the Trump tax cuts repealed. The most likely scenario would be that we would go back to the rates what they were under President Obama, under the Obama administration. Some of those brackets, right now there's a 12% federal bracket, and before the Trump tax cuts were passed in 2017, that 12% bracket was a 15% bracket. So just that one bracket as an example, going from 12% to 15%, that would be an increase of 25% in that one bracket, not 3%. 12% to 15%, that's a 25% increase in that one bracket. And all the other brackets are similar like that. They're not all exactly 25%, but that's the idea. So if we have $1 million tax deferred retirement account right now, if we just keep waiting till later and longer, federal debt right now is right about $40 trillion. We're adding $1 trillion to the debt every 100 days. There's been a lot of finger pointing with the politicians. President Trump used to say that President Biden was spending too much. President Trump now is spending just the same amount. I know there's a whole Doge thing and everything. Nothing has changed, really, as far as the spending. It's nickels and dimes, maybe. So one of the first things that happened when President Trump came into office this time, the Senate Republicans, one of the first things they did is they voted to keep the same levels of spending that they had under the Biden administration. So they can all talk about fiscal conservatism, but neither party, both parties are guilty here. They both spend the same amount. They both put your grandkids in debt, put you in debt.